Hello, you. You join me underneath the apple tree in a community orchard near where I live. It might look idyllic, but there's a real smell of dog shit in the air from some hounds that have walked past, so it's not all perfect. But yeah, you join me in the orchard, and I'd like to share a little bit of um, insight exploration I've done into this feeling bad for feeling bad that affects people like us. So let me frame this. So suppose you are tired, stressed, overwhelmed, run down, maybe just woke up in a bad mood on the wrong side of the bed or whatever. And the habit is to turn that disgruntled, resentful anger perhaps out on the world and all that's wrong with it. Maybe you feel cynical, nitpicky, ranty, vitriolic, dissatisfied and unsettled, I would say, is a good one. And that impulse stays with you all day, and maybe it manifests as nitpicking. So if your kids, your partner, colleagues, or whoever kind of is within range and they're falling short of standards or making life hard for you or not taking responsibility for their actions, any number of triggers that might feel familiar for you with perfectionism, they'll bear the brunt of this. There'll be cynicism, nitpicking, like pointing out things that are wrong, could be better, things that need to change or improve, that need to be fixed, that haven't been solved. It's like a real bias towards everything that's wrong or going wrong in the world, or specifically in this person in the world right now. And because you're a sensitive person, you know what it's like to receive criticism and judgment and shame. It's not nice, right? And you don't want to do it because you do it internally too, right? Give yourself a hard time, as perfectionists do. Everything could always be better. So you know what it's like to receive this criticism and nitpicking. So you start to go, oh, I shouldn't do this, feeling the shame of doing it. And you feel bad for feeling bad. You feel bad for nitpicking and picking on other people and taking it out on them. So what happens is that kind of impulse shuts down, or rather it turns inwards, and the knives go inwards. So all the things that are wrong in the world or wrong in that person, all the things that could be better and could be fixed, they become internalized. They become character flaws about yourself that need to change, need to be fixed. It's no longer about a task list, a to-do list out there that I need to correct and make better. I mean, that is part of it. That's usually like the early warning sign. But then it kind of turns inwards into a attention to all the things that are bad about you. Particularly your propensity for judging other people. I shouldn't judge people. Judging people is bad, right? We don't like judgmental people. It's harsh. I know what judgment's like. I don't want to go around judging people, but here I am judging people. I'm doing judging. But the clever thing that you've done here, and I call this the infinite judgment regression, the IJR. I made that up, but it sounds good, doesn't it? Is judging yourself for being judgmental. Okay, this is where it becomes this self-sustaining loop of, I guess it's a form of brutalization. It could be arguably self-hate. It's certainly beating yourself up with the things that you already beat yourself up with, if that makes sense. And this becomes another thing about yourself to beat yourself up about. You're judging yourself for judging other people. You're judging yourself for being judgmental. And then you're judging that too. And it's like a cascade, And then it becomes another thing to fix about yourself and to correct, because it's not okay. It's like not welcoming yourself in the first instance as a judgmental human. And I think that's the point I'm getting at here. It's like when I talk to other people who don't live with perfectionism, they often say, well, you have these thoughts and feelings that are part of your existence. They're occurring to you. What choice did you have to have them? That they're in your consciousness. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want them to be there. And they shouldn't be there. And I need to get rid of them, which is the impulse in perfectionism, is to immediately feel something and do something about it. And I turn that inwards on myself. So yeah, the first impulse, I guess, like I want to say a normal human would do, we're normal, you're not abnormal, is to simply be judgmental and acknowledge the judgment. The impulse to judge is there. Um, and also, I think that there's a helpful reframing here somewhere, which is like the judgments, the IJR as I call it, came from a place of care in the first instance. This impulse for things to be not wrong and better, that mood you woke up in the morning, like perhaps it wasn't even your fault that you are tired and stressed, it's work or you didn't sleep well or whatever. Like that's the first invitation to compassion, right, and forgiveness, right? But that impulse to see all the things that are wrong in the world and do something about it, like that is a place of care. That comes from a place of goodness. So if we separate the impulse from the action and the outcome would be making it right, correcting, fixing, changing the world, changing the person, rectifying, correcting them, finger wagging, getting them to do things differently, That's the outcome. But the impulse in the first instance is goodness. You want it to be better. You want it to be different. You want it to be not the way it is because somehow it is a cause of problems or suffering, or it's going to make it worse, because that's your gift. You've spotted something that could be optimized and made better so that there was less suffering and less effort and less pain, essentially. You don't want pain and things to be wrong in the world. Like, what a beautiful gift, That's the care. It's when we pile on the layers of judgment and we lose touch with the point of origin, that where this came from, which is your sense of love and care and duty and desire for things to be better and different so that we can all thrive. Because ultimately that's what you want, right? You want the same peace, the same wonderful world in which we can all live and thrive, where nothing's broken and nothing's wrong. Who doesn't want that? It might be an impossible vision, but what a wonderful world that would be to live in. That's the way you want it to be. You want to get there. The execution may be slightly more painful and problematic, but that's another matter. So I hope that's thrown some light on it for you, this feeling bad for feeling bad. And the thing I think I observed, and the reason I'm sharing this, is feeling bad for feeling bad. So judging yourself for judging, or judging yourself for anything, judging yourself for feeling sad, judging yourself for feeling a bit like a victim, judging yourself for making a mistake, like all these things, having feelings about feelings, in my experience, it's kind of the first cascade of effects that lead to kind of, the sadness, the grief, depression, longing, yearning, the kind of melancholy that we can fall into, is having these reactions to your own, or reactions. Like the reaction itself, waking up in a bad mood, is bad enough, right? It makes it worse when you judge yourself for it, is what I'm trying to say. And feeling bad for feeling the way you are, even when, especially when you don't choose it, is the origin of mental health challenges. I know I've certainly been there, where I just feel worse. It's one thing to wake up feeling bad, but then beating yourself up for it is where it becomes even harder. So I hope this throws some light on the IJR, or the struggle switch, as someone called it recently, as I heard it. And my wish for you is not to change or fix it, simply to notice and intercept, I guess. Notice it happening and just go, this again, that would be progress, right? That would be some small step along the way of healing and ideally forgiveness and acceptance. But that's a stretch for us as perfectionists. So before acceptance comes acknowledgement, right? I wish that for you. The acknowledgement of, this is happening. This is a normal part of my experience, and it certainly is, because I coach and work with a lot of perfectionists. I have lived with a lot of it in myself. I have a lot of conversations with people about this. Trust me, you are not alone. This is a thing. I wrote about this on LinkedIn recently, and people were replying and sending me messages about it. It's a thing. We do this internal narrative, this story that we attach to what's happening. Perfectly normal. And you're okay. I see you. And remember the place of care from which this all comes from. You're a loving, benevolent, kind, creative, wonderfully big-hearted and sensitive human. And I see you. Thanks for watching.